I am John Davis Marshall, your lifestyle architect. If my coaching can benefit your professional life or my counseling can benefit your personal life, then feel free to extend your experience with me. Reach out by way of my website, johndavismarshall.com. And while you're browsing my website, notice the resources that are available. A number of books that I've written and published will bless your life. So order one and then subscribe to Matters Magazine, a monthly magazine that adds crystal clear, practical information that will help you to raise your life to a higher level. And please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Comment on this video, share it, help us to get the word out to millions of people. Each Wednesday, we focus on family matters. Pull up a chair, open your mind to the Word of God, and let's see what wisdom He wants to share with us today. When you read the Bible, begin reading the Bible as a family book. Unfortunately, I think too often we have started out reading the Bible as a church book, and we think that it's about church. And then another mistake we make when we see the Bible as a church book, it becomes a worship book almost exclusively. And we then think the things written in the Bible are designed when we come together as the body of believers to govern our worship. Please, please do not make that mistake. The Bible is a family book. It contains family stories. And in those family stories are principles for living. There are principles to live in the community, in the church, on the job, or wherever you are. But the dynamics come from the family setting. Yes, God draped and designed the universe around the concept of family. Family is a God idea. That's why we should not look to the government to orchestrate what the family should be. It doesn't matter what the government thinks marriage is. Marriage is a God idea. It doesn't matter what the government thinks parents should do toward their children. Parenting is a God idea. Let us take the family back from government, from any other entity, and place it totally under God's orchestrated instructions. So let's begin reading the Bible as a family book. When you read the Bible as a family book, or rather, let's read it as a family book as we focus our attention on Genesis chapter 50, verses 15 through 21. Now, I'm not going to read those verses, but I want you to read those verses as soon as you finish this video. As a matter of fact, go ahead and just stop the video right now and then read those verses and then resume this video. Let me give you an overview of what's taking place. Earlier in years, in the temporary absence of their father, Joseph's brothers mistreated him. You can read about that in Genesis chapter 37, verses 12 through 20. This is the Joseph of the Old Testament who had 11 brothers who hated him, who sold him into Egyptian captivity. So they did that in the temporary absence of their father. But when we read Genesis 50, Now, in the permanent absence of their father, they just assumed that Joseph would mistreat them. They just assumed. Listen to verses 15 of Genesis chapter 50. When Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, "What if Joseph bears a grudge against us and pays us back in full for all the wrong which we did to him?" They assume that now that daddy is dead, Joseph is going to get even. See, this is a family story, but we see God's theological message therein. Now, because of their own guilty conscience, they just suspicioned that Joseph would get even. It's because of their own suspicious conscience that they thought Joseph would seek revenge. How many families have been impacted by suspicious minds of family members? Brothers against brothers, brothers against sisters, sisters against brothers, sisters against sisters, parents against children, children against parents. They just suspicioned that a family member was going to do something. A suspicion is an unsubstantiated belief. That unsubstantiated belief may be true, but it also may be false. But even when it is false, suspicions solicit and create the same feelings that true situations does. It creates the same feelings as if it was true. A little story is told that said, one day Adam told Eve he was going out for a walk and he would be back later. He didn't return until very late. And Eve was really angry. And she said to him, "What have you been doing all day? I'm sure you are hiding something from me." And she asked him, "Did you meet anyone?" Adam said, "You know quite well. There's no one else alive but us." He then shrugged his shoulders, went in the next room, and went to sleep. And as soon as he went to sleep, Eve, still full of suspicion, began to count his ribs. My friend, suspicion will deteriorate healthy family fellowship. Suspicion will deteriorate healthy family suspicion. Has your family been torn asunder by suspicion? Stay tuned for upcoming videos. We'll share with you how to fix it. Are you in the process now of tearing apart your family because of suspicion? My friend, don't do that. Don't destroy your family based upon suspicion. But do not underestimate the power of suspicion. Suspicion will deteriorate healthy family fellowship. I'm John Davis Marshall, your lifestyle architect. Thanks for taking the journey with us here at Wisdom to Wealth. Remember, if my coaching can benefit you professionally and my counseling can benefit you personally, then extend your journey with us. Extend your experience by way of my website, www.johndavismarshall.com. Browse my website, bless yourself with one of my books, subscribe to Matters Magazine, subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video on your social media page and with all of your friends throughout all of your network. Indeed, it is true. A better you begins with a grace view of God. That's why we want you to forever remain gripped in His grace and mesmerized by His mercy.